So I'll be sharing two topics. The first topics in onboarding and enabling suppliers to P2P modules via supplier table. The supplier table resides in our SAP and also in Ariba buyer site. And then the second topics that we would like to share is on adding a price line item, how to add a price line item at sourcing event, because price line item is such an important item that you do not want to miss out in having it in the sourcing event. Okay, before that, maybe I'll bring you through our SAP Ariba journey in Sarawak Energy. We went live, we implemented Ariba into two phases, starting with the upstream phases in 2018, and then the downstream phases in 2020. So far we have 4 modules live. Our upstream modules, sourcing contract, supply life cycle, spend analytics went live in December 2018. And we recently went live with downstream module, buying and invoicing and commerce automation. Okay, so let's deep dive into a more technical how to onboard the supplier into P2P module. When we first during the implementation of phase 2, during the implementation of P2P, should I say P2P, during the pilot go live, we had challenges where after we onboard the supplier, and then when they receive our first purchase order through Ariba network, sometimes they miss to click a button, which is a trading relationship button. So when they miss out clicking that button, they will not be able to receive our PO. So there's some issue there. So we have to go back and do something on the background. Quite a lot of things to do in the background. So when we have that challenges, we discuss with the consultant, the implementation consultant, that there should be a better way to handle this. Even via supplier training, you can educate them, but they may miss out that button. So the consultant provided us with a solution via a function called SM5144, and we have to maintain 6 supplier table. Supplier table basically means just you need to maintain those table. In our case, SAP is our ERP, so we have to maintain one of the supplier table in SAP. So whenever there is a new suppliers that we need to onboard, so we just have to put in the suppliers SCM ID and the SAP vendor ID in the SAP supplier table. Similarly, on Ariba P2P, on Ariba buyer page, we have to maintain another 4 table for buying and invoicing, and 1 table for commerce automation. For those who are unsure what is buying and invoicing and commerce automation, is we implemented 2 modules for P2P. Buying and invoicing is something that you all, if you are having a downstream module, you should be having buying and invoicing where you have guided buying on it. Commerce automation is where we there are some procurement types, procurement categories that cannot be handled through buying and invoicing, such as those with a link with inventory level. So we put it under commerce automation. So means in commerce automation, our staff experience, our staff is still in SAP. However, on the suppliers experience, they will be receiving the PO and creating the invoice in Ariba network, similar with buying and invoicing. So okay, let's go through the deep dive in these slides. Yeah. So we have implemented this solution. So it has been live for a couple of months, and it's working lah. So if those who have some issues and wanted us to share with you a bit more detail on this, you can email me and contact me lah. Okay, first of all, maybe we go through the slides. Yeah? Okay. First of all, supplier will register through SLP. Okay. So once supplier is registered, in order for them to transact into P2P, we have to sync them to SAP first, to our SAP system. So once the syncs is done, then we took the supplier SM ID and took the SAP vendor ID, and we put it in one together, in one table. So it's just to map it. After we've done that, so we go to Ariba buyer page, and we maintain another six supplier table. So just put in all the details. It's pretty straightforward. Just follow the instruction in the buyer page and fill in those 6 supplier table, and then trading relationship is established. So once we've done this, so supplier will not, even if they miss to click on the trading relationship button on the first PO, they are good to go. So they will be receiving this PO successfully. It's just this approach have some drawback. So as you can see, the word maintaining supplier table means you have to maintain it. Every time you have a new suppliers, so you just have to go in and maintain and put it in this 6 table. Okay, so that is it for the first sharing. As I said, if this sounds more too technical for you, feel free to email me and we can discuss and I can explain further. Yes, so the next sharing is on price line item. Okay, how to ensure the price line item is added at the sourcing event. Because currently, in our current implementation of sourcing module, some of our procuring officer did not put a price line item for the supplier to fill in the final bid price. So what they did is they created a line item, like an attachment line item. So they put all the BOQ in the Excel file, and supplier will fill in the Excel file and put in the final price value in the Excel file, and then they upload it in the system. Okay, with this approach, we can understand if they have so many line item and they need it to be put in Excel as a more practical way. But however, they did not put the one price line item in part of the sourcing event. So when an event does not have the price line item, so when we generate the spend report letter via Ariba reporting, the awarded value is 0. So you don't have that value. So it's kind of a misleading info when you try to generate those info from Ariba reporting. The workaround that we investigated and we have come up with at the moment is to once the procuring officer created a sourcing event, okay, the sourcing agent created a sourcing event, before it is being published, we created another approval flow. We call it another group called sourcing event reviewer. So the sourcing event reviewer will just make sure that the line item is there, and once it's there, and they will approve this event, and then subsequently the manager will approve it, and it will be floated to suppliers. Yeah, we are still testing this solution. So hopefully by end of this week we can go live with this solution, and we can mitigate this challenges lah. So however, as you can see in the slide, the drawback is this is a highly manual process. We require daily monitoring, so we have to assign people to go through it, and we have to make sure that there's no bottleneck happening at that at the approval for sourcing event. There is another solution that are provided to us by making the line item mandatory. There is a function to do that in Ariba at the moment. However, there is an impact on the supplier side. So supplier it's not mandatory for supplier instead. With this solution, with the current solution that are available, so we cannot adapt this solution. So we introduce this sourcing event reviewer. Hopefully, when there is an update in the system where it's mandatory for sourcing agent to create a price line item, and also making it mandatory for supplier to fill it in on, then maybe we'll move in to another approach lah. Yeah. So I think that's it for our sharing. There are only two sharing. I know some of you may have a better solution. So another reason that we wanted to put this sharing on the floor is to publicize what we have, and we wanted to benchmark with you. You may have a better approach, and feel free to contact me. Then we can discuss better on how to make the best experience when using this SAP Ariba. Yeah, I think that's it from me. So back to Abhishek.
Thanks for sharing. So with that, can I hand this over to Carol?
So yeah, blessed morning everyone, and blessed that we are all healthy and meet in this meeting. So I think we have about close to 90 attendees today, which is awesome. So it has been a great pleasure that SAP Ariba invited me to share my journey in SAP Ariba Community Day. So let me share my screen first. Okay. So now I started off with these three photos that we have. We have a long journey with people like Sarawak Energy since 2018, and we started the Ariba Community Days since back in 2018. And we are so inspired and connected with the group of dedicated SAP team, especially Claire, Sime, and Jacqueline. So with that, actually, it enforced our belief and strong trust in SAP to our management, and we tell them yes, SAP Ariba is the right digital platform to go. And then we also have the first Malaysia Customers Success Day, followed by SAP Live Singapore 2018. So along these 3 years, Gamuda is growing together with SAP Ariba, and they have been constantly updating and releasing quarterly new features and constantly partners with us like you and me. They are always be with us. Okay. So without further ado, I would like to share our topics. So our Gamuda actually also, like Sarawak Energy, we have take up the upstream as well as the downstream. We started the sourcing module live in October 2018, followed by the contracts and December supplier lives performance, then March was the P2P. But because of the supplier life cycle performance comes later than the sourcing, this is where we have a challenge. It was a great challenge to us. So, but we managed to overcome it as times comes by. So today my topic is about registration qualification, suppliers performance assessment, as well as what is the lesson learned. Now in supplier management workflow, as we can see, is about onboarding the suppliers and the registration. Yeah? So in Gamuda, the supplier registration, because the sourcing comes first, so we must upload all the incumbent suppliers into the system, and then the supplier will start their registration. However, because the suppliers are already incumbent suppliers, then the registration takes slightly longer time for them to go into digital. And after the finished registration, then the qualification comes into the picture. Now, Gamuda group-wide has many business, the main being construction. We have property, we have manufacturing and concession like the water and the highway. Because of this business nature that Gamuda have, as such, our suppliers also comes in many natures. We got contractors, we got good materials, we got plant machinery, professionals like architects, land surveyor, lawyers, miscellaneous like even event management. So as such, we separate the nature of those suppliers in the qualification section, whereas the registration is a standardized questionnaire regardless what is the nature of the business. So from the qualification question, if the supplier is a contractor, then the question will be asking like what is the plant machinery capacity, and it could be on the quality safety. We will ask whether the contractors have experience in conquest, or whether how do they capture their waste management. If you are a good material suppliers, then the questionnaire in the qualification will ask you whether are you a manufacturer or you are agent, and probably the question also asks whether do you have SEB certificate on the products. Now, good thing is that in this supplier's qualification process, it allows us to have multiple qualification questionnaire. So this depends on the nature of the suppliers. For this example, JBS Solution, he is a pump repairer, so he does installation. At the same time, he also supplies pumps. So with that, our qualification paper will send him an evaluation, miscellaneous qualification paper, because he's the installer. At the same time, we also send him the goods material qualification questionnaire because he's a supplier. And the system allows it. We can even have 3 or 4 qualification papers to a single supplier. Okay? And when we finish the qualification questionnaire, that's where we qualify the suppliers. In Gamuda, once the suppliers have registered as suppliers, he already deemed and approved suppliers. Qualification questionnaire is more tailored to the respective category. In these slides, we have adopted a new release last year, which is so excellent and we love it so much because being a construction company, we need to know the strength of our partners and the level of exposure. So what we do is that we move the certificate questionnaire into a modular questionnaire, And from here, we will know the types of the licensee that the suppliers have and whether the validity of the certificate. So example here, the suppliers have filled in the Board of Engineers and he put their certificate type. And when we click on it, we can actually see the type of certificate, the year, the effective date, the expired date, and when we click on the PDF, we can see everything in detail. So there will be no more missing of documents and every time we want it, because sometimes when we tender, we need documents very urgently. And also because of this certificate questionnaire, you can able to search all the certificate in the supplier management dashboard that appear on the left column. So as a click of one of them, let's say if I click Board of Engineer, the list of suppliers will surface. And when you click on the suppliers, example this one, I click on Julu Gas Engineering Sundram Berhad, immediately under this certificate, you can see whether the certificate is valid, expiring or expired. This is the status. And this shows you the expiring date. Okay? So the beauty about it is that immediately the system will actually send a reminder to the suppliers to update their expired certificate when it's due. So you don't have to worry as a buyer or QS, we don't have to worry whether the supplier's product certificate is still valid or whether is he still engaged with the professional boards or not, because this is very important for us as the contractors. This is another beautiful new release that we adopt. 2 months back, SEB had this new release called Search Future. We again aggressively adopt this, and it comes so handy and useful. So again, being a construction company, to support the local Bumiputra enterprise, we need to know how many of our contractors, suppliers are Bumiputra status. So what we did is that with the support of the IT team, we create a customized future. So this is the original dashboard. You can see in supplier management, you will start off with refine, result, the qualification, the registration. So what we did is that in supplier management, we add a future here. And we add on this called company status, because whether you're Bumiputra, non-Bumiputra or foreigners is under company status. Once you have this data in our registration question, then you can easily extract data to carry out the analysis. And with that, you click on this, then this company status comes in place. And this is customized to our company needs. So every company will have its different way of customizing this. You can even customize searching for manufacturer. So when you put here as manufacturer, then when you click on it, you easily see how many are manufacturer, what are the nature of the business, or like in CIDB cases, how many are in class G1, G4. So it's all up to you. How do you want to customize it to your needs? Yeah. So most important, all these new features that released, even in sourcing or contracts or in P2P, it is only possible with the strong support and collaboration from our IT team. They spend a lot of time and effort to activate these new features like Japanese auction, because you have to have this in place from the IT, then we as the users able to adopt all these features. Yeah. Now this is something I am most excited and satisfied with suppliers performance module, because we carried out our first 2019 performance assessments throughout the company. We successfully actually saved 800 hours of our 415 evaluators on 22 business units to perform this SPA within 2 weeks. That was that fast. Yeah. But important planning is crucial to achieve this. Now, previously, without SLPM, individual business unit actually conduct their performance assessment, and it had been difficult for them to compile it in the Excel that was in various places. And the evaluators actually have to fill in the hard copy every piece, So for the evaluators to capture that it takes longer time. Now we took 1 month to do the planning. We collect all the information from respective BU, and the structured format in terms of project title, events name, evaluators, all have in place within 1 month. Once you do it, the planning is right, then the rest will be easy when you want to publish it. And to do this task of 2,548 events is only carried out by 4 persons in my team. We do it all within a week, and 2 weeks time the whole result is out. That was the beauty about this, and I'm so satisfied with it. And with a click of after 1 day the event finished, we are able to publish the scorecard. It's auto-populated the average score of the suppliers. So it saves so much time of the 22 manpowers in respective BU to generate the records. Isn't that wonderful? So with this supplier performance assessment, we actually put it into the our dashboard. Because of our business nature, we engaged a third-party software to produce an analytical chart, which customized for the convenience of our management, our senior management, and a quick search. So you may consult your own IT department. What are the various software that's available in your company? So for example here, in this dashboard, we can easily find out who are the evaluators who evaluated, and numbers of suppliers, the numbers of suppliers, then how many business units involved, what are the category of the contractors. In this name of supplier by category, let's say goods and material, we have 1,093, contractors 247, and why is there this 3L Gamuda Land 360? So what we did is that Gamuda Land requests the evaluation to be carried out by third party, which is not Gamudian. So the system also able to provide this capability. We send the evaluation questions to architect to evaluate the contractors that is in our project site, and this is possible. What is the lesson learned? We will have to always ask ourselves how to get the suppliers registered, how to get the suppliers on board. It is never an easy thing because it is beyond our control. But we have to ask ourselves, if this supplier is having business with one of our company, example with GIPS, the supplier has business with GIPS, if you can supply to one of our company, why not supply to the rest of the 21 business unit by just registered one time? So this is how we encourage our suppliers. Why stop with one company? Why don't reach out to the rest of our company? That is how we encourage them. And we always also come up with, we did our web page to cater for the suppliers. They can always log in every time. We have videos, and we have step-to-step guide, supplier request guide, registration guide, qualification guide, and as well as events. How do they participate in events? We run about, all in all, 40 plus to 50 suppliers registration session. It's a face-to-face session with suppliers. We invite them and guide them through. It is about 1.5 hours. Basically, the explanation is only 40 minutes to explain them the steps. The rest of it is actually hands-on. We ask them to bring the laptop and we actually guide them through how to register. And this has been very effective. We also have engagement with business unit. We provide them users guide and sharing session all the time. And this is all possible because Gamuda supplier management is a center of excellence. We use supplier management to monitor all the suppliers' information, and then if those suppliers is not in the SEB Ariba profile, then we will not invite them in the session. being in RFP or auction, and then they will have to register first. With this, I would like to thank, okay, this one in the end, I like to share with everyone, in order to have this Ariba adoption, it takes three to tango actually. We need the governance, what is our policy, the internal people to actually drive it, use it. Most important, our supplier engagement and the support from our IT. Without IT department, a lot of things we cannot configure it and use on it. Because Ariba always, every quarter there will be new features. Like the last quarter, there are about 6 of it that we have started using it. With this, I thank you for your time. This was the picture that we have in Singapore last year when we won the sourcing award. And in my team, we have Mr. Hong, Mayot, SD, as well as Wei Ling and Ing Hao to drive this whole Ariba. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Great story again. So what I would like to open it up. If anybody has questions, feel free to unmute yourself.
Thanks, Abhishek. Carol, loved your presentation.
Thank you.
One of the pillars that you talked about was governance. And I'd like to ask a little bit about that, about governance, how you went about setting that up. How did you make sure that the governance had the authority and also had the visibility across all of the organizations that you're touching? I know Gamuda is a very complex, broad organization. Talk a little bit more about the governance, because that's so important in any kind of transformation. It's foundational, in my opinion, and I think you guys really nailed it. So if you could talk about that a bit more, that'd be great.
Wei Ling
Yeah.
here. We are we have policy in place that all supplier must be registered through SAP Ariba. Yeah, that's and also qualification must be done, because that is related to that contributes to our certification of ISO. So we have very strict process to abide, and also Gamuda is strongly driving green effort. So SLPM is also a tool that we will use to start to, well, we can't enforce our supply chain to do to contribute in green effort right now. That's why Carol wanted Hong to address that. But recently we agreed that we will use SLPM questionnaire as a tool to start pressing and nudging pressure to our supply chain by asking them, do you have this green policy in place? You know, also a question that we will put it in by category, very specific to their trade, to start nudging and pressure, creating awareness that we, you know, giving them the signal that we are looking into this and we will eventually drive that. I think Hong is back. So Hong, would you like to add on?
Sure. Okay. In terms of how we drive governance, I think important thing is that engagement of stakeholders is actually crucial. We need to let the stakeholders know our objective, and basically we are here to facilitate and make their life easier. We are going to make things more efficient rather than making their life difficult and they lose their job and things like that. So we need the working relationship by collaborating within different departments. Yes, the effective part is having payment policy in place where that is those checkpoints that we have for the payment policy. Having good governance is that we want to drive transparency. Transparency is important. And like what Wei Ling has shared about this, talking about the Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations, that's what we are also aligned to. So those are the things that we have. I mean, it's the top driven from the top management. It also helps a lot. So that is the executive order that we have from the top management.
Thank you. Great.
Wait, we have time for one more question. And I see one which is about how do you rate your suppliers and vendors? It's a little bit broad, but wondering if Carol, if you can take.
Yeah, okay. We actually have separate the registration question as well the qualification question. So we evaluate the suppliers differently. If you are contractors, you have a lot of certificate in place and you have plant machinery, so you will score higher. And then obviously your contractors, they will be the bench of this ranking, and then goods and material rather ranking. So we actually evaluate based on the ranking, the documentation that they actually have submitted in the registration as well as the qualification questionnaire. This is how we rank it for them. So you can straight away search all these rank grade A suppliers, grade B suppliers, grade C suppliers, and you go through it. Every buyers or the QS can actually read the supplier's profile before they invite them in any of the sourcing events. So you know the supplier in depth first.
I mean, maybe I add in here. It's up to individual company in terms of how do they want to classify or rank their vendors. So you will set in your evaluation criteria, and you have certain weightage on certain things that is important for your organization. You know, if it's like financial standing is important, then you rate it with a different weightage. And if you think that they are aligned to ESG is important, then you rate them accordingly. So it's up to the individual company.
Yes. Thank you, Hong.
Hi, I'm Fazlina here from MBank. Hello.
Yes, we can hear
you.
Yeah. Okay. Carol, I have a question to you. First of all, very good presentation, good sharing. Okay. I have a question here. Since MBank actually in progress to finalize the SLP implementation. Okay, when you talk about the, you make it a compulsory for all suppliers to do the registration. You means, is it all categories of suppliers? Is it any exemptions? Example like the regulatory bodies, hotel.
We actually would want all the suppliers to be registered. That is one of the key.
Hello?
The answer is that it's part of our ISO procedure that all our vendors need to be registered and approved by the group before they can be before they can do business with us.
Means all supplier, no exemptions, no exemption category.
Correct.
So thank you so much. Thanks everybody. We are at 11 a.m. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe. And
Take
stay
care.
Thank you, everyone. See you again.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Stay
everyone.
safe.